Hello and welcome back. Oh, it's so good to have everybody here that has joined us today from LinkedIn. We're so excited. We've got such a phenomenal webinar to share with you today. We've got Danielle from the Family Office List. This is Danielle Patterson. Hello, Danielle. How are you?
Oh, I am wonderful. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, yeah,
Awesome
yeah.
here.
Oh, we're so excited. We're so excited. So before we dive in though, I just want to share why this topic is, really something that's so crucial for our community. Many of us think about investing primarily in terms of wealth creation. However, family investing is so much bigger, right? It's about creating that legacy impact across generations while staying true to your family's vision and their values. So today we're going to dive into the family office ecosystem with Danielle Patterson. I'm so excited to have you today. Welcome to the Rise, the Impact Investing Community. And with that said, I would love to introduce you, Danielle, and tell us about yourself, explain how, family offices are creating global change. So welcome.
Well, Tanaha, thank you. I love what you are building at Rise. I love the way you are educating and bringing, all parties up in such an amazing, inclusive community. So thank you for having me. For the audience who has never met me, I'm Danielle Patterson, and I'm the CEO and owner of Family Office List. So it's been a journey. I acquired the company 9 years ago and have really been transforming it into a platform filled with data insights to help those looking to seek capital, but also families looking to collaborate with each other, highlighting, what the values are, what the investment mandates are. And in my 9 years doing this, it's really been an insightful journey that I'm excited about in terms of what I'm seeing in the impact investing area. It's really a growing trend amongst family offices, and it leaves me feeling very encouraged for the future.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Love your background too. And you can hear the passion that you have for the space. You can hear that through your voice. So thank you for sharing that. For
Absolutely.
those that are unfamiliar, right, with a family office and the construct behind it, would you share what is the definition?
Yes, this is a great place to start. And I kind of joke because you could get a room of 100 family offices together and you would probably have 100 different answers if you asked even them what a family office is. And that's it. It's a highly personalized wealth management firm for ultra high net worth families. And their needs are so specific that the solutions are tailored. And it typically involves wealth management, but also anything with a high net worth, family affairs, estate planning, wills, all those things. So it varies from every family's needs. And when we think about, family office, there's always if you've seen one, you've seen one, there's no one size fits all, but we do try to give some sort of categorization to make sense of this. So we start with a single family office, and that's really the wealth of an individual family. So take the Waltons, for example. They are a single family office. And it's very interesting. We talked about this in the masterclass earlier. 2 years ago, the threshold they said was around 100 million. Then they talk about 250 million. The thing is, there is no parameter. You can form a family office really at any stage. It's just how you choose to customize and tailor your wealth management solutions. So a multifamily office is different in terms of these families are pooling their resources. So they may share an attorney, they may share these solutions, and it tends to be more cost effective. But when you're dealing with several families, you want to make sure that the values are aligned and that you have like-minded partners. We also see a lot of foundations. Oftentimes there can be a single family entity and they have a spinoff like a foundation that focuses on their philanthropies. And then we see asset managers. Not every family office needs every single aspect. So we see a lot of asset managers that represent families. So we categorize each type, and it's interesting. And in this digital age, we're starting to see virtual family offices. So outsourced solutions.
Completely, completely. Oh, I love that. So let's talk about like the scale of the wealth transfer, right? We hear so much about the 84 trillion in wealth that will be transferred from baby boomers to younger generations in the coming decades, especially primarily to millennials and Gen X, right? This represents one of the largest wealth transfers in modern history, with family offices really being one of the key players in managing these types of funds. So, how do you see the wealth transfer from baby boomers to younger generations? How do you see that in their approach of investing?
Yeah. So this is something I'm really excited about. I think when we think about the baby boomers, they're much more formal. They're more conservative. They tend to invest in traditional asset classes, where this next generation, again, digital natives, their priorities, their access to information, their values, they care. Ron Diamond jokes, his daughters, before they buy a pair of jeans, they're going to research where those were made, how do they treat their employees. These things matter to the next generation, and so they want to invest in companies they know are ESG focused, and they also want to align with the things they care about. And to me, this is so important. I think that families actually face the biggest challenge in generational wealth transfer. By the third generation, 70% of family offices fail due to the difficulty. And it's complex. You have family dynamics, lack of communication. But I think when you have values that don't align, the next generation just disengages, where I think impact investing really holds the key to bringing the family together, communicating, educating, all the things you're doing through the RISE movement. And I really do see it as a way to help with the generational wealth transfer. And that number, 84 trillion, it's huge.
Yeah, it's so true. I think it's 95% of millennials are interested in sustainable investing, compared to just 85% of the general population. So all of that is dead on, dead on, dead on. When we think about tech, and a lot of, I think I mentioned, I was just at, in a Prequin virtual event, and they were talking about how AI and data analytics is really changing the way that investment decisions are made. How do you think that that's affecting family offices today? What are you seeing?
Yeah. So AI it's disrupting every industry, and definitely technology and AI is going to be huge for these family offices. I think for these firms that hold so much wealth, there has been such an antiquated way of doing things. So we're talking spreadsheets and so much manual labor. When you think about evaluating all the deals that are coming their way, it's highly inefficient. And typically, these families are different from the large institutions. They tend to not have giant teams, unless you're the Gates or, the Pritzkers. Some have really professionalized, but in general, many of these family offices are smaller. And so it's really hard to siphon all the deal flow. And so tools like AI are tremendous in terms of vetting the deals, in terms of doing the due diligence. I also see being able to actually measure the impact, because that, it's very hard, where AI is helping in forecasting and really just helping make the process more efficient.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, especially with what we're seeing, in terms of even, the funds that are using these tools. So all around, right? It's how can we, do this in a way that supports, what we're really seeing overall. So let's gear to women and talking about that, because, as you know, we're a big supporter of empowering women in education, empowering women to invest and impact. When you see that and you think about the role of women,
Yeah.
and how are you seeing that women are increasingly taking the lead in impact, specifically in impact investing? What are you seeing?
Yeah. I definitely see women as strong leaders in this family office space, and it's very inspiring. When we think about the foundation of impact investing, we're looking to make global, social, environmental change. And these are the things that really hit home for women. We think about our values, it's our children, it's our communities, and we want to invest in the change we want to see in the world. So there are some amazing, female leaders that are driving positive change. So many examples of them. I have a slide if you'd like. I can bring it up and reference, or we can just keep talking about it.
No, please do. I'll add it to the stage with us. Yeah, I think that's great.
Let me pull this up. Okay. Just find the right slide. We have a whole, we did a fun, maybe I could even share this with your community. We did a report on just family offices and the impact investing. And it's a report on all the trends that we're seeing, lots of neat things based on our data as well. Are you able to put that on the stage, Tanaha?
Yeah, it's there. I see female leaders and impact investing.
So I admire all these ladies. Okay, Liesl Pritzker-Simmons. She is the founder of Blue Haven Initiative. She is one of the earliest pioneers. She found her company, her family office, back in 2012. Her husband is Ian Simmons. And I think that she is one of the first earliest examples of, a family office that is solely dedicated to impact investing. And she comes from the Pritzker family, so the Hyatt hotels. And she is just passionate about, renewable energy and social equity. She's done all sorts of projects in sub-Saharan Africa, bringing solar and wind power. So just an amazing, encouraging, inspiring woman. So she has definitely been a leader, paved the way for others. Abigail Disney, so the Disney family office, she has been an amazing champion for equity and fair play. She basically saw that, at Disney, she wasn't necessarily working there. She just observed that the CEOs, there was such a disparity between what the typical employees were making and the CEOs. So she really focused on, the governance and how do we make, fair pay for all. And so she's been a tremendous leader in developing initiatives for that. And then we have Arlene Rockefeller. So the Rockefeller family, probably the oldest, U.S. family office, made their wealth in oil and gas. And Arlene actually, wants to lead the way and find more renewable energy sources. So it's amazing to see, even if a family made their wealth in something, this next generation is able to come and, she's probably 5 generations down now. They've been around, for so long, but it's neat to see their passions and what they care about being able to really influence the family, but also influence others around them.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Yeah, we as women, and thank you so much for sharing that. We as women are 90% more likely to invest in our families and communities, interestingly enough. But that's the data stat around that. And one of the things that we see is the top 5 for women are basically everything that you said: clean energy, gender equality, as well as affordable, and social equality, those types of affordable opportunities, clean water, that's really important, and then sustainable agriculture. Those are the things that women really, what we see that they really do care about. So thank you for sharing that. And truly, those women are trailblazers in this industry. So
yeah.
What about, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say, so, and, I don't want to take us off track, but just like these women, I'm encouraged by the next gen. I know we kind of touched on them earlier, but if you allow me, I'll share another slide. And this is kind of equally inspiring what we're seeing with the next generation and talking about, really being leaders and advocates and maybe opening the family up to diversifying their portfolio and looking at impact. I think, I attend a lot of industry conferences, and it's always interesting to hear the next gen talk about really how they have to educate their parents. Sometimes they're resistant, they're like, oh, impact, that's some sort of philanthropy. You're like, no, there is high profit and, high purpose. It's really bridging the two. And so these few, if you're able to share this slide, these 4 are really amazing examples of kind of next gen that are leading the way. So we have the Cynthia and George Mitchell Foundation. They also made their wealth in oil and gas, and here they're now, the younger generation is shifting focus to clean energy and conservation. And then we have the Rothschild family office, which is RIT Capital Partners. They made their wealth in banking, and now they're really steering as well towards renewable energy. The Walton family office, so I believe it's Stuart, it's Sam Walton's grandson. He has amazing initiatives for like agriculture and sustainability, community development, really, really inspiring. And then the last one, the founder of eBay, Pierre Omidyar, I always worry I'm going to mispronounce it, just doing amazing things to include, people from all different areas, help bring social justice, and really using technology to provide access.
No, it's true. I was on a call, and we were talking about charitable LLCs, right, yesterday, and really, how to leverage, that obviously, for tax benefits. And so I was making an introduction, and one of the things that we discussed this, it really is still something that is very common, that it's the understanding that if you say impact investing, and I constantly have to say, we focus on finding return, profit, and as well as purpose. It's both, right? But I still hear that over and over and over again when we talk about impact investing and using like your DAF or charitable LLC to invest in these impact investing opportunities. It's still, I would say it's so common, Danielle. It's probably like 60 to 70% of the time where I have to say, no, we find and aggregate great opportunities to invest in that provide profit and purpose. So that's 100% correct. We see that over and over and over again. Everyone just says, oh, philanthropy.
Right. No, I know. Well, I think that you're doing tremendous work by educating people really on the opportunity here. Talking about, conferences. Last week were in New York, attended the REAL Summit. It was the Mental Health Foundation. And, it was interesting to see, these are impact investment opportunities, and things like mental health have been neglected. No one wanted to talk or deal with these things. They were very, a stigma. And so now you're looking, there is so much work to be done. And it's, we listened to several family offices speak, and they're saying it's like the Wild West. It's a tremendous investment opportunity because we're going to make huge impact, telehealth, all these things, AI apps and ways to really help the future generation, because it's a scary problem when you look at the statistics around mental health. But this is an opportunity, and there's amazing outcomes both financially and on an impact scale.
100%, 100%. I mean, especially, I love how you talked about how women are aggregating to this space, but even just from that narrative on a health perspective, right? As investors, we invest in things that we know, we understand, we like. So it's beautiful that we're going to be able to close some of these gender gaps on health research, services, and investing, because we have a special perspective as a woman. Right. Okay. That means that we now, because we understand what it means to be a woman, things that pertain particularly to us, hormone issues, breast cancer, maternal mortality. Like, these are some of the things that if women are coming in this field and we've been disproportionately not represented, then we can aggregate capital to these important areas, as well as mental health. So very good point. Very good.
I met with Sarah Starr. She's from the Crown family in Chicago, and she is a huge advocate for femtech. And, that's, again, it's things that we are passionate about, the changes we want to see in the world. And I just think it's great that we're able to bring capital and leadership to these neglected areas.
Yeah, it's going to make for an exciting future, right? Catalyzing innovation and health tech solutions, and then the focus on sustainable and innovative solutions. So we're gonna have a prosperous and exciting future. Let's talk about, because I want to go into that before we wrap up. How do family offices balance philanthropy with profitable investments in their impact initiatives. This is something that we focus a lot on. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, I was telling you I'd really like to actually join your sessions to learn even more, because there's DAFs, there's all sorts of like interesting ways where you can, take your funds and you can give them to philanthropy. But I think the overarching trend that I'm really observing is that there just seems to be a melding between the two. It doesn't have to be one or the other. Like literally your philanthropies can make returns. I think it used to be such a segregated way of thinking. You had your charitable trust or your foundation, and everything was a donation or it was a grant, where you can still give, but you can make an impact, like a return. And I think that more and more family offices are kind of gravitating towards this. But I mean, I'd almost flip the question back to you, because I know that you've been doing a lot of education in this space of how just different mechanisms, ways that women can think about, smart ways of investing where making a return. And yeah, I want to tune in. I think it was you were saying that you were going to do a workshop on DAFs.
Yeah, we actually have 2 coming up on that.
I'm in. I'm all in.
Well, just because, we're making introductions on these things, right? DAFs and charitable LLCs. So, whenever that happens, then it's like, okay, we need to have a webinar. Just like you and I, right? We keep having conversations in such synonymity. So then, okay, we need to have a webinar. We need to let everyone know about these things that we're talking about. So it's really around that, right? There's a lot of capital that is, kind of just in DAFs right now. And there's an opportunity, right, to really kind of migrate some of that capital to impact investing, because, we can affect the change in the world that we want to see. Impact means something different to all of us. I mean, we talk about that all the time, right? So I could be just passionate about clean energy and wanting to affect change there. Somebody else can be passionate about sustainable agriculture, which is the foundation of, being a human. It's the food that we eat. And so by understanding like where your values are at, and then all of these opportunities to participate, that's why we aggregate them, right? From sustainable agriculture funds, and talking about, yes, you can measure the financial returns, but also, there's these agri-tech systems and, water systems that are really, they help to conserve the water that is sucked by our soil. 33%. I mean, I don't want to get to talking about impact investing, but with our soil, we can't even use it, for food growth. So, I mean, obviously that's a passion point, sustainable agriculture. And so we all have these different passion areas, and yet every single one of these, right, can be aligned with a financial metric and also an impact metric, because the things that we aggregate are built from the ground up with the impact component in mind. So there's a way to measure these things, as opposed to sometimes when companies get really, really large, right? You're embedding an ESG metrics into the larger company. So definitely do see an opportunity, to educate more around this, and then how to use these tools, which help from a tax perspective, and also, make the world better and align with our values. So, we're definitely achieving profit and purpose.
That's awesome. And I think what I love as well about your educational series is, you're having these conversations. More conversations need to be had. And then you encourage, the women that are participating to take those conversations home and have them with our children. I have a 12, a 10, and an 8-year-old. And, I've seen a lot of successful families, they do a family constitution where you're really talking about, your family values. What is it that we care, and putting some structure and some governance in place. And when we talk about these things, when we talk about wealth, when we talk about our values, I think that big problem we were talking about with the generational wealth transfer, it becomes so much easier to transfer wealth when we learn to talk about it, when, there isn't a stigma, when we're inclusive and we include our children from a young age.
Yeah, agree 100%. Agree 100%. Because then, right, instead of just talking about the problems, because we can, right? We can spot out, the problems with our soil, the problems with our water, right? And the problems with, our pollution. But yet, we can say, but we can participate in the solution with our savings at whatever level we can, really puts a positive spin, and it makes you feel empowered, and it makes you feel like you're actually making a difference, and then also being educated at the same time. So
I couldn't agree more. And, whatever level of money, even if you're not yet ready to invest, it's your behavior. You can invest in many different ways, but it's that education, that awareness of the problem. And then, like you said, feeling empowered to actually do something about it, to make the change we want to see. So I love that you encourage people at any level, even starting with their own behavior.
yeah, that's wonderful. So I want to tell everybody how to connect with your beautiful platform and your wonderful technology. So Family Office List has a great technology that allows you to connect with family offices given what you're working on and how you want to connect an alliance with their values and then your values. And it's a platform that Danielle and her team and the company has created in order to make it easier to access the family offices that you want to reach and network with, and collaborate and share with. So that's their platform. You can reach it directly off their website. In our back impact investing community, really, we're passionate about it. So we're going to add linkage from our community to Danielle's platform, so that way you can connect to it from the Rise platform as well. So if you are raising funding, if you want to collaborate with family offices, this is an excellent technology tool that simplifies that process for you. Now, with that being said, Danielle, anything you want to add about your tool?
I appreciate, your support. I appreciate your community, learning from you. And yeah, as a founder, this is my passion, and I am so proud of where we have come. When I acquired this, it was a list that encourages spray and pray. Family offices have patient long-term capital. They can do so much good with their wealth, and they have values and initiatives they're passionate about. Finding opportunities, like many of the founders you work with and fund managers, is it's hard right now. The system is broken. So having data to base that initial research, so that you're not wasting your time, you're not wasting their time. Is this aligned in terms of values, industry, the stage of your funding, and the amount you're asking for. And it really allows you to research and think about this as a personalized approach. This is a long-term relationship you're hoping to build with an investor that's going to be long-term capital, but so much more. And so the data really starts with the data, and making sure that there's an alignment so that you can approach with a value add offering. And I'm really excited because, looking at our data, in the last year alone, we added 349 new family offices that had impact investing objectives. So right now we have a total of 634. I'm sure, there's got to be, more out there. I think it's such a growing trend, but I'm so encouraged by those numbers, and, doing all we can to elevate those families and to help connect them with, really wonderful, deserving opportunities.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Okay, so thank everyone for joining today. As a conclusion, if you have a great impact investing opportunities, please share them with Rise. We aggregate and share and vet that great deal flow within our team. And then we share it with others, whether it be, financial advisors as a supplement, whether it be others with savings, whether it be our private community or family offices that want access to that deal flow. So we're happy to share that impact deal flow after we vet it, and then connect with Danielle for access to the family office technology platform, so that way you can grow your business and your fund by collaborating with the funding that you need. So thank you everybody for joining today. Thank you, Danielle, for your time. And we look forward to seeing you all the next time, where we talk about investing with profit and purpose as an impact investor, where we educate. Everything that we shared today was designed to educate, not give any investment advice. But our goal is to educate and aggregate a community of those that are interested and aligned with impact investing. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.